President Trump and the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman touched on a number of issues during the foreign leader's state visit this week, one being Saudi Arabia joining the Abraham Accords. Bin Salman expressed an openness to it, but under certain conditions. Here to tell us about that is the Iowa Republican Senator Joni Ernst, who hosted the Crown Prince Tuesday night and is co-chair of the Abraham Accords caucus. Welcome to you. So please do tell us, what did you learn about his interest in the possibility of this happening?
Yes, thank you, Sandra. It's great to be with you. And I was very privileged to lead a congressional group. It was bicameral and bipartisan. And we sat down with the Crown Prince and we learned more about his visit to Washington, D.C., which is a historic visit. But we also learned about his intentions to normalize relations with Israel, thus bringing him further into the Abraham Accords. It was a very optimistic discussion. Of course, there are a number of points yet to be decided, but it is good to know that we are on that pathway for additional peace and stability in the Middle East. And we know the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is key to that.
We also hear President Trump talk often about the economic developments between the two nations, the United States and Saudi Arabia. How would you describe those developments, and where are we currently on that?
Well, I do think these developments are very exciting, and we have seen an increased commitment to invest more in the United States, and the Crown Prince was really excited to tell us about that. He had a number of his economic advisors with him as well. So we enjoy that. We invite other countries to come in and see what we are doing here in the United States of America and ways that we can partner that will strengthen both the economy of the United States of America as well as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And again, it does strengthen our alliances, not only economically, but most certainly militarily as well, which will be required as we look at stability and pushing back from all of these nations engaged in the Abraham Accords against Iran.
Before you go, Senator, I know you are introducing the Excuse Me Act to reform SNAP. I know a big part of that is looking at the cost of SNAP to U.S. taxpayers and the fraud that we do see involved. We have some of the numbers we can put up on the screen for our viewers. What are your efforts here and your goals to reform the SNAP program in this country?
Yes, there's a number of efforts that I am going through right now, but at present, the Excuse Me Act, what we have found is that within the SNAP program, there is a way for certain states to apply for programs that allow those SNAP dollars to go to fast food restaurants. There are currently 9 states that allow that. And what we have found is in just the last 2 years, taxpayer dollars going into SNAP, those SNAP dollars of the amount of $524 million was spent on fast food. We know that we have health issues across the board here in the United States of America. Those SNAP dollars, and I'll remind everybody that the N in SNAP stands for nutrition, should not be going to fast food.
All right, we'll see where that goes. Senator, always appreciate when you can join us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.